Hi, this is video 36. This is the last video of the program number 2, and I want to tell you that as an inventor, it always gives me immense joy. It gives me really pleasure when I can see the idea turn into a prototype, and it really gives you a kick, when actually it works. So this video is dedicated to discuss about the time. I want to explain to you how much time I've taken to construct my my prototype. Okay, so we'll go one by one. Let's see. Aluminum pulley and coupling. Okay, aluminum pulley and coupling are made of extrusion technology, like the one you see on your window frame. Those aluminum window frame, door frame. They are all extruded out. So I use that concept to design a pulley and a coupling. Nobody have thought about it. So what I do is I have the concept, then I sketch it out, and when I sketch it out, then I have to get the extruder, aluminum extruder, to extrude it out. Then I have to cut it and then machine it, and then can see the prototype. All right. So it takes me about 12 months. Okay, when I mention all this date as I go along, please be reminded I do not include the lab test, the industrial test. I do not include that. I'm just saying from concept, from raw idea to a working model. This is the time I've taken. So at least you can understand, maybe your product may be similar or not similar, but you can gauge how long you will need to build a prototype. Okay, now let's go to the second one I have. Outdoor air cooler. Okay, again, this outdoor air cooler was new in Malaysia at the time when I started out many years ago, about 20 years ago. I'm looking at how to provide cool air for outdoor activity. So from the concept that I have, actually the concept is to use evaporation, whereby I have the evaporating pad that is made of wood cellulose. It's like honeycomb. It allows the air to pass through. When the air passes through, the temperature drops. Can drop sometimes 3 degrees, 4 degrees, depending on humidity and depending how hot the day is. So from concept to the actual one where I build it and able to how to say get the air coming out and I feel the coldness, it took me 9 months. Yes. There's a lot of work to do, and the first model came out 9 months. Okay, so all this time frame that I'm given to you doesn't include the marketing activity. Okay, I'm just telling you how long it takes to build a prototype. All right, so now we go to the next one, the third one. This is my daughter's combo spoon. Remember the previous video or last few videos ago, I spoke about how she has came up with the idea of making the cutlery to turn into a fork, and they can twist and take it out and then put it into a spoon and change into a knife and so forth, and even a chopstick. So the idea was then given to me, and I went to a prototype machine maker. So how I took 3 months. That's all I did. Yes. So once I got a concept right, we got to do a technical drawing. Once the technical drawing is there, then I have to look for a friend to make the prototype for me. So it took me about 3 months to from idea to the prototype. Okay, so this is another another invention of mine. It's called the light shower. It's a type of mobile shower for the homeless people. Okay, so I have evolved from the first version, the broomstick and so forth. But from the idea that I have, and then I go and get all the material and put it all together, it only take me 1 month. Yeah, that's all. So I got to think about the concept, how I'm going to do the frame, then about the water pump, how to get the water pump, then electricity to pump the water and so forth. Then I need to get the pressure. I need to calculate how much water I need and so forth, and how much pressure I require and so forth. So with that, it's quite fast. It took me only 1 month. Okay, it's a very simple idea. Then the next one is a chiller can. Remember I told you I have an invention whereby I use this TEC, whereby when you put in the current, and then the electricity will, the current will actually either produce heat or produce cold. So in this case, I switch to cold and hot goes down, and I can chill a can of drink. I can chill a can of drink within a few minutes. So you can drink in a car, you can also drink in the office. If you switch the other way, you can put a coffee, and the coffee is always warm, and you can always drink it. All right, that's a chiller can, and it took me 3 months from the concept until I have the one that I can really test it out and drink the can of a drink. So it took me 3 months from concept to the first prototype. Okay, then next one is melt agglomerator. This is a machine that makes drugs. It has got a spinner inside. It spin the drugs and form into small little ball. So the size of the ball is a concern, because the size of the ball will determine the hour of dispensing into your blood system, your digestive system, and also your blood system. So it was actually made by me and my partner, Dr. Wong, and it took us about 9 months to really put it together. We have a lot of trial and error until we are happy with the first prototype. Of course, we also able to control the speed, because the speed and the angle of the impeller determine the size that we are looking for. So it was a very exciting moment for me. And like I say, we always get a joy, immense feeling of joy when it happened. Okay, so for this case, it took me about 9 months. Let's go to the next one. This is a boot tray. A boot tray whereby actually there's already boot tray in the market. So it was very easy for me. All I need to do, I change the boot tray. There is a slider. I change the slider to suit into this Japanese car. I put on the Toyota Vios. In this sense, it's not a full invention, but it's an innovation. I have innovated the mechanism to improve the device. So it's actually very easy, and it took me only about 3 months to do it, and it was not difficult. The idea also, the concept was already there, so I just have to figure out about the mechanism. All right. So next one is the brush cutter. This actually was one of my first project, and I was a young man, so it was very difficult for me, because I made a lot of mistakes. But anyway, I made this brush cutter using re-engineering, because those are imported from Japan. In those time it was imported from Japan, but now I use the American engine, and I have to retrofit it so that the mechanism can be used. So there are a lot of new parts that I have to create, and some of it are downsized, some of it are bigger, and the RPM is different and so forth. And the clutch, the engaging clutch is also different. So it took me about 12 months, because I was new, and then I have to do a lot of trial and error, but it's still a success for me, because this was the first time I do it, right? From concept to making the actual thing can cut grass. Wow, when you can cut grass, wow, that's a really sound of happiness to me. Okay, then the next one is Poco Hydro. Remember, I have got this fuel saver for your car. Fuel was expensive, so we have to make ways of how to reduce it. So I have this electrolysis system whereby when you apply current into two set of plate, but the plate doesn't touch each other. So let's say the electricity current goes into the positive plate, and for the positive, the electric current need to go to the negative. So it pass through the water. By the time you pass through the water, electrolysis take place, break up the molecule. You got 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. All right, so it was very exciting for me. Of course, we studied in high school. We studied in Form 2 actually. It was very exciting to see it really work. Then the hydrogen is emitted, and oxygen is emitted. Then we collect those gas, and then we channel directly into the combustion chamber. So when the combustion is more powerful, more explosion, then it run faster. Run more smoother. That way, you save fuel. All right, so we are able to save about 10%, about 10% on the road and 15% on the highway. Okay, so it took me about only 1 month to get it right. So it wasn't difficult. The concept, I'm not talking about the finished product, the concept, the first prototype that we are able to achieve our objective. All right. So next one, light chloride. Okay, this is also one of the early invention that I did many years ago, and then I did not have a really good idea. But what I did was I knew there was a shortage of labor in the estate, so I wanted to design something to replace the wheelbarrow. This unit is not for area where tractor can go in. If tractor can go in, tractor can do the job. Why should I invent this? So I invent this where tractor cannot go in because the ground is too soggy, the ground is too soft, and then people are using wheelbarrow. People are using wheelbarrow are tedious and also slow. So this is a machine that I have created, and I made the whole thing. Only the 3 parts are imported. You can see the rubber track I bought from Bridgestone in Japan, and then the engine is imported. I use Yanmar diesel engine, and of course the gear is imported as well. So the rest of the thing, I configure it myself. I make it myself in my workshop with my colleagues and so forth. And it was very fun when we can actually bring it to the palm oil estate and run and and then we can collect the fruits in the field. So it was really fun, and it took me about 12 months to make my first prototype. Okay, I have some video, you can watch the videos. And then steel grating, this is the one that actually make money for me. It has been rolled out into the market. It has been used in many projects, Petronas project, as well as in some factories and stair tread and so forth. So this is actually very exciting. So I started off with aluminium, but the aluminium I failed, you know. Then coming to the steel was very simple for me. It took me only 3 months to complete my project because I already know what to do already. So it was quite simple for me. All right. So this Lightwalk steel grating is an improvement of this one, X grade aluminum grating. This is the first one. This is the first one that I made, and I made of aluminum. So it took me about 9 months to make it from concept to the first prototype because there's a lot of interlocking, and then I have to design it in such a way it's actually extruded. Then I have to send to the extruder to make the extrusion out. Then I have to cut, I have to machine and assemble, and then I have to actually work on it and fill it and so forth. So it took me 9 months. It's a long time, but then of course when I sell it, I couldn't sell because there was some sparking problem. So when oil and gas hear sparking, you know, they don't want to talk to you. So I failed in that part. But because I have already learned how to make this, so the next one, which is actually I told you just now, the Lightwalk grating, it was very simple for me to make. All right. Now, then this is another what I call a Form 5 project. It's called a fan filter, where you put on the fan, and then as it circulates, it collects the dust in the air, you know. So when I have a filter on the 3 blades, and when the dust is collected, you can actually tear out and replace it. So there's a Velcro behind. You just tear it out, and then you replace again, and then you can use it again. So this is like what I call a schoolboy project, a Form 5 boy project, and it took me 1 month, to perfect it. All right. So it was very interesting for me. I also did some animation to encourage children to be creative. So I have got 2 sets. One set is the TV breaker, whereby I have 10 episodes of 1 minute each. So this 1 minute, this young girl, Amelia, she will then come across a problem. Then she said, I got an idea. Then she make a prototype to solve the problem. So each episode is 1 minute. I've got 10. So I've got just now the fan filter, I've got a singing donation box, I've got the toilet car seat and so forth. So these are all my daughter's invention, and I make into animation, hoping to inspire children to be creative like her. Right? Then I have another set of it took me 12 months to make it, because animations you have to have the pre-production, then you have to have the production, then you have to have the post-production. Those in animation, I think they know what I'm talking about. Then I have another animation called Robot Boleh. So Robot Boleh is about a family of inventor. So the father could invent anything, anything. So her daughter, 9 years old, he invented a robot for the daughter, a 9 years old daughter, and the daughter was very pleased. And then she brought her to school and so forth. But this robot don't have a mind. and then she has to pray so that the fairy bring a mind. But the fairy say, there's one condition: you must teach the robot to be good, you know. So then of course there are a lot of stories in it, and then you go watch the movie. So again, it took me 12 months to make it. All right, so I'm just giving you a guideline of all the invention that I have personally. My hand became dirty making it. I know the time frame, and this is how to say, this is my way of doing things, and I have achieved it. So now it's back to you. All right. Again, I want to say, every time when I finish a project and it works, I have this joy. So I also wish you have the same joy as well. Anytime you can contact me, and then we can share more experience. Okay. So I wish you all the best in your project. See you again in the next program. Okay. Bye.